First sign of discomfort. I've noticed in myself that I go through seasons where I prioritize discomfort and I don't like to admit that, but it happens to me too. And I like to think that I have changed quite a bit and matured, but sometimes I revert back to the 5-year-old version of myself. I just want to be comfortable and I maybe go through it more or the same as anybody else because I am an entrepreneur. I make my own schedule. I have to be self motivated, self disciplined, come up with my own schedule. I work from home and I've had to create a lot of boundaries for myself. I don't wanna call them rules because I don't like rules, and sometimes when I make rules for myself, I break them. The re I have to play all these mind games with myself. It feels like I'm at war in my own mind most days, to be honest with you, and I can relate to why people quit at the first sign of discomfort, and I realized this was in the gym. Working out with other people that worked out harder than me or harder than I knew that I wanted to work. And basically them saying, "Well, did you die?" And the answer is no. And I have this vision of me doing lunges. This woman named Kelly that I used to work out with almost every day, and she would run her gym class and she would do body pump. Body pump, it's like 5 minutes. It's a whole song of one body part. And there's one song of just lunges, and I used to love that. I grew to love it. I used to hate it, but I eventually ended up loving it because I just remember my glute burning so bad, and then she'd finally switch, and it feels like the muscle is gonna tear off the bone, and of course, you don't want that to happen, but that's one of the nice things about doing the same thing or similar exercises every day is okay, you push yourself to that point where you didn't hurt yourself. It was very uncomfortable. Certainly not comfortable. Discomfortable is what I was gonna say. And the next day you're sore, but now you know next time when you feel that type of pain, that level of pain, okay, well maybe I can push through a couple more reps. And then you realize, okay, I didn't die, I didn't hurt myself. And of course, you don't always know that line until you cross it, unfortunately, and don't be stupid. That's also one of my rules, I'm sure you've heard me say. But I think most people err on the side of comfort and maybe haven't even tried to push themselves past the point of being somewhat miserable, even if it's just for a few seconds a day. And then tying this back to work. Because I think most of the people that follow me are ambitious people, and I am an ambitious person as well, and I can relate. I've never enough, I'm never useful enough. I fight war in my head every day that I'm good enough and that I've done enough or I haven't done enough. Sometimes I haven't done enough, and I have to come to that realization as well. But, tying this all back to the big girl job outside of the gym, just doing the boring stuff, responding to the emails, going through the Asana tasks, writing the renewal letter, creating the proposal, creating the presentation, all the things that my brain doesn't want to do. The dopamine side of me, the part of my brain that craves dopamine, comes up with every single excuse not to do it. And the most frustrating part for me is I get into a rhythm where I get very rewarded from the work I do. And then I hit this season or this ledge or this wall, or this mental block that I can't go anymore, or that now it's boring all of a sudden. Like yesterday, it was fun when I got into the flow, but today it's sticky or nothing's going my way. Like those work days where you work on a problem and the solution is evident and you just flow through it and everybody's firing on all cylinders and the team's firing and the client's firing, everybody's on the same page. And then you hit this sludge. I hit this sludge. And when I start losing that momentum, I find myself growing more and more frustrated and more distracted. And I get frustrated because I want to gain that momentum back, like now. And if I go through a couple of days where I'm feeling stuck in the mud, I'm now having to revert to a mindset that, okay, this is just a bad day. Like, not every day in the gym is a good day. Not every day at work, not every day in business is going to be a good day. But we put on our running shoes, our sneakers, and our gym equipment. We get in the car and we drive our ass to the gym and we go anyway, even if we have a shitty workout. Getting a workout in is better than no workout. Going through the motions at work and within my work and within my job or within my mission is better than not doing it, because I have to have faith that if I continue to suit up and show up, it's going to get easier. So, one of the many rules that I have for myself when I'm feeling this is start with 15 minutes. And if I only do 15 minutes on that task that I really don't want to do, then that's fine. The next day, I then do 30, and then the next day, 45, and the next day, an hour. And I usually try to build up 2.5 hours a day on a project if it's really important, or like a bigger project or something more that takes more mind share to work on. I find that if I get my working blocks longer than 2.5 hours, it may not be as productive, or I start fiddling. Mental masturbation is like the best term I can think of. Or I'm working on it, but am I really being productive? Am I more just toying around with the thing like a cat playing with like a half dead mouse? That's what it feels like sometimes. So anyway, I try to aim for 2.5 hours, and I've found that that works really well, especially when I am building in a new time that I am working on something. So, for example, let's say I have to switch my schedule up because the kids have to be picked up at this different time, or school schedules change. Mostly has to do with the kids or my husband. Something changes. And now, like right now, I'm waking up at 3 in the morning. Everybody thinks I'm fucking crazy when I talk to people that I just meet. Yeah, we wake up at 3 in the morning. I get up, I make him a sandwich. He goes to work. I stay up and I do work until 6 a.m., 7 a.m. And I love and I hate this new schedule. And when I first started, and a lot of times on Mondays, I feel some pain on Mondays. And this makes me think of Alex. I know he suggests doing the same thing every day for this very reason. Because on Monday, when I wake up and maybe I slept in on Saturday and Sunday until 6 or 7, now 3 a.m. feels like hell on Monday morning. But if I just woke up at the same time every day, it conceivably would be easier. You wouldn't have the Monday sucking so bad. But anyway, I digress. So just starting out with 15 minutes, and same thing goes with the gym. Like when I went back in and out of weightlifting right now, I dance. I've been doing dance classes. I've been doing dance classes. I don't really lift weights. I certainly don't do bicep curls. I'm pretty much just doing glutes and dance right now. But when I got back into, I was like, "Bro, I really gotta build these glutes." Because when I decided to stop weightlifting, mostly because I was getting injured after having a 10.5 pound baby, I kept re-injuring my back. I said, "Alright, so I'm gonna have to stop this whole weightlifting thing and find something else that interests me or that I can put my energy into." So that's when I started dancing more. And that summer, I got in a bathing suit and I hadn't lost a pound of muscle anywhere else except my ass. So now I am trying to work on my glutes a couple of days a week, and it starts with 1 set. I don't gotta go in there and do a whole glute killing class with a personal trainer for an hour because I'm starting at 0. So just 1 set a week is what I started with, and then it was 2, and then it was 3, and then I think I started out with, like, 1, 2 days a week, and then 3 days a week. I just increased the days, and then I c increased the number of sets and the number of I just increased the volume slowly over time. There's no point I've said it before, there's no point in going to the gym and having one epic workout where you get a ton of stuff done and then never work out again. The point is doing something every day, something that you can commit to on a weekly or daily basis. And same thing goes for work. It's not as good of an analogy because you could conceivably build like a badass app that creates consistent money flows, and you could probably build all that one day now with AI and all these agents. But for the most part, working on a meaningful project, working on life's mission, working on building a business, doing something every single day is going to yield better results than just sprinting and having one epic work day.